In today's video, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into glass sealants and coatings and really how to get the best out of them, both in terms of prep and application, but also in terms of the aftercare as well. And I've also got some of my favourites here to show you. Now, the very first thing I need to address is the preparation that goes into applying a glass coating. If you take away one thing from this video, regardless of what coating you're using, it's that prep is absolutely essential and it's going to help you avoid some of the common issues with glass products, which usually include things like wiper judder or sort of ghosting and smearing you get when using your wipers. These generally come down to poor surface preparation, so it's really important that you get this step right, regardless of what coating you're using. So the very first thing you can do when preparing the glass for a coating is to clay it. Now, some windscreens are going to need this more than others. Obviously, you can use your hands to kind of test, does the glass feel sort of rough? If it doesn't, then you can sort of skip this step, it's not going to be a disaster. But if you want to do everything to the letter, then I would recommend doing this step. So you can do this after you've washed the car. You can use either car shampoo or you can use a glass cleaner as your clay lubricant, but just make sure that glass is really nice and smooth before proceeding to the next step. Now, the next step is to use a glass polish. Now, there are a few different examples. I've got CarPro Seri glass here, and I've also got the Tax System glass polish. Another one that I've used is the Soft 99 glass compound. That is a great one as well. I've just run out of that, hence why it's not here with me. The great thing about that one is that it does have a built-in applicator, but the downside is that you do tend to burn through the products a little bit quicker compared to using one of these two, which you can just use on a microfiber applicator. So with these, you can use them either on a machine polisher or by hand. I generally use them by hand because most windscreens that I'm coating don't have any protection on there already. However, if you are trying to remove an existing glass coating, then using it by machine is going to make it a lot easier. The reason that glass polish is going to be really important here is it's going to remove all the sort of chemical and water stains that typically do build up on the glass, no matter how often you wash your vehicle. You can spot these quite easily by using a damp microfiber towel and just wiping it along the surface. If that water doesn't look even and you can see those sort of streaks appearing, that is where you really need to use the glass polish. So after that step, you shouldn't spot any of those. With all the glass polishes that I've mentioned, using water to remove them is really helpful. So you can just use a microfiber towel to do this, or you can actually pressure wash them off. I usually just use a microfiber towel, a damp one, as it's a little bit less messy. But after that stage, you need to do something else as well, and that is to use either a glass cleaner or a panel wipe solution to remove any chemical residue that might be on there. This again is very, very important, otherwise your glass coating is not going to bond properly. You might get a messy application or it just won't last as long. With all these steps, it's really important to use a good quality microfiber towel as well. So I usually use the Rag Company FTW towel. It's a twist loop towel so it doesn't leave any lint behind. You don't want to be using sort of any plush, sort of fluffy towels as they're going to leave fibres on the glass. So just make sure you use something that's lint free. Now, in terms of my glass coating recommendations, I have tried quite a few, but the two that I would ultimately settle on as my favourites are both by Soft 99, and those are Ultra Glaco and Glaco DX. They are a little bit different to each other and are going to suit different situations, hence why I've chosen to talk about them both. Now, first off, starting with Glaco Ultra, which was the first one that was released. Now, this is very, very durable coating. You can get up to 12 months out of this. However, typically, you're sort of looking between that 6 to 8 month mark is realistic from this coating. It does have a cure time, so you need to make sure that the glass doesn't get wet for 12 hours after application. So that is a little bit of a downside of it. Obviously, you're going to have to keep an eye on the weather there. In contrast, Glaco DX does not have any cure time, so you don't really have to worry about that. And from my experience, it is the more hydrophobic out of the two. Both have very, very good water repellency. Glaco DX is just a little bit faster, so if you are driving at lower speeds, then DX is going to be the better option. However, the disadvantage of DX is that it is not as durable. Typically 4 to 6 months is doable with this product, so it's just not quite having that same durability level, but it's really going to depend what you want. If you're doing sort of really high mileage on your car, you're going to want that extra durability, and having that slightly less water repellency isn't going to be a big deal. However, if you don't drive your vehicle quite as often, then DX is going to be the better one here. In terms of application, both products are very similar and shouldn't cause any issues. I've never had any problems with either of them. They both have a built-in applicator, which is really handy, so you don't have to go ahead and get another one. And I typically like to apply them in a crosshatch pattern to get even coverage, although you can use circular motions as well if you'd like. I usually leave them about 10 minutes before buffing off. Sometimes 5 minutes is okay though if it's a warmer day. Again, make sure you are using a lint-free microfiber towel for the wipe off. The only difference is in terms of the wipe off is that DX responds a bit better if you use a damp microfiber towel. You can use a damp microfiber towel as well with Glaco Ultra, however I've not really found it's needed. With DX though, I would recommend doing that, as otherwise the residue can be a little bit tougher to remove. Now the final thing to discuss here is the aftercare of these glass coatings and how you maintain them going forwards, as this is going to have a massive impact on the overall durability. Now the first thing to talk about is windscreen wiper usage. If you are hammering your windscreen wipers, then it is going to cause the coating to fail a lot quicker. It's usually the sort of enemy of glass coatings, and it's what ultimately causes most of them to fail. Now obviously you are going to still need to use your windscreen wipers at certain speeds when you're driving the vehicle. However, just make sure if you're at the lights, maybe don't have them on max speed, as that's probably not going to be the best for the coating, so just use your common sense with it a bit. Second thing to note is that glass coatings really do benefit from top-up protection, the same way that regular ceramic coatings do on the paintwork. Now what I'd recommend doing here is using a hydrophobic glass cleaner. I've tried a few, but my favourite ultimately is the Glaco one, and it's going to work regardless of what glass coating you're using. You don't have to be using one of the Soft 99 coatings to use this product. So I just like to use a couple of sprays on the windscreen after I've washed the vehicle. It flashes off nice and easily and just takes about 30 seconds to do. So there's no excuse not to do it really, and this product is really cheap, and if you are just using a couple of sprays, it's going to last a very long time. This is just going to help provide that sacrificial layer, which is obviously going to help a little bit against that wiper usage, but just keep the coating fresh between every wash. In terms of the frequency that you need to use this product, you can use it on every wash if you want to. I wash my car every week though, so it's not really necessary. I find that applying it sort of every 3 to 4 weeks is more than enough for the amount of mileage that I do. I really would recommend though investing in one of these hydrophobic glass cleaners. If you've gone to the effort of applying one of these coatings and all that prep that's involved, it's not the most fun job and you don't want to be doing it all the time, so using one of those products is going to just make sure you don't have to do it quite as often. So as always, all the products that I have mentioned in this video are going to be linked in the description. If you have enjoyed it, it would be great if you could drop it a like, and thanks very much for watching.